So we're going to open up a couple of windows. Give me just a second. Okay, there's that one. And yeah, good. There's okay. There's that one. Sorry, I have to turn off the sound or else you'd get nothing but feedback. I'm lining up all my chat windows, hopefully. And I will definitely try and answer people as they post. Okay, I think I have everything set up. Okay, so what we are doing today is, let me get you a little bit closer to the action. I forgot, some things are in slightly shorter leashes. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to be ironing shells. I do shinobi style face masks, and I noticed if I did a singular process over and over, it made it a lot easier. Okay, so a face mask, where did I put mine? Because that would be a perfect example. I lose everything. Oh, let me just put it. Okay, so a shell is of oh, hey, Creepy Norma, how you doing, dear? So a shell is a layer of something. So this is a single shell or single layer garment. A lot of garments have more than one layer. So the outer shell, the inner shell. For these face masks, they all have 2 layers. Both of them very tight weave. Both of them high filter. So my masks actually fall into like the 90s, high 90s percentile for filter. And yeah, so I figured out that if I do one at a time, it actually takes me more time because it's a slower process and I have to switch between a bunch of stuff. Whereas if I just put out all the material and do a batch and then go on and do the next batch, makes it a lot easier, quicker, simpler. So that's kind of the route I'm going to go with this. I need to find my ham because I swear I had it like 2 seconds ago. Ah, there it is. This is a ham. So a ham is just a filled, shaped like a canned ham thing that people who sew work with. And what it does is it creates a curve that makes it easier to press seams on a curve open and get things nice and crisp. We're going to give that a moment or two to heat up. So basically what I'm going to do is find part of the round, basically the best curve to press the nose open on. Okay, there we go. So I want this seam to be open and lay a little bit flat. In the last batch of masks that I did, I found that the chin seemed to be a little bit bulky and wanted to shift. And there was like too much internal material. So I trimmed the seam allowance down just a little bit so that there's not so much competing material in the midsection. And then I'm going to iron the bridge of the nose and front of the mouth flatter. I think that might have been part of the problem with how it, just how it looked, how it felt. So yeah, I had the basic idea, but it's great to have a basic idea, but um, you should be able to refine that idea, which is what I'm doing. I designed it, thought of it, I wanted to do the thing, now I'm refining it. And this one seems like that portion right there seems to be a pretty good round. I just make sure it's in there nice and snug. And then I flip it right side out. Okay, so yeah, this way, not perfectly round, but this way it follows the curve a little bit more the way it should. And then I want to do the same thing along the jawline so it lays as flat as possible. So, how is everybody doing today? Hello. There you go. As you see, it actually does create a bit more structural integrity where it can stand up on its own. And then I will take the right side out shell, do a couple other things to them, and then stitch it all together. Okay, so the other thing I do is I lay it flat, fold it over by about 1/2 inch, and iron it, and it just makes it lay much flatter. Oh, essay questions, always so much fun. Read sarcasm in that. What's an essay on? Like a psych essay or just English? Okay, there you go. So as you see, the shell is much more stable, has a bit more structure to it, and will make it easier overall to put together. Ooh, Psych 1. Ooh. Woo. Goodness. They are making you jump through all kinds of hoops. Oh, Grammy, I'm sorry that you have a headache. Those are like never fun. Like I've gotten like when this all started, I got tension headaches because I was just so stressed out about so many different things. And I also used to suffer from migraines. I still get them occasionally, but oh my god, those are so not fun. Hopefully, a little bit of calm goodness will help here. Yeah, I remember the essays we used to have to write in psych and in sociology, and some of those were like 10 pages long. I mean, I loved them, but at the same point in time, oh my goodness, that was so much work. So much freaking research, especially when you had to give, hey, cite your sources. You need at least 10. Like, really? And they couldn't all be just case studies. They had to be like peer-reviewed stuff, case studies, and you know, this person had this thought process and idea and whatnot. So yeah, it could get so in depth. But yeah, yeah, I hear you. So do you guys need any advice? Have any questions? What shall we talk about? I know it's not always, but I figured I'd show some of the lamb. Ooh, I'm sorry. Lady. Oh, hello, Lady Chloe. How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. I'm making face masks. So I do, like you've seen most of the regular face masks, they just hit across here, and usually made with cotton and whatnot. I actually make these really lovely high filter shinobi styled face masks. So they actually hit underneath the chin, which creates a better closure and more filter so you don't breathe in something from the gap on the underside of the mask. Um, and it has an adjustable nose piece here so you can actually squeeze it shut and you're not dragging in a bunch of unfiltered air through the top. So yeah, I saw a lot of uh, not things wrong, but just a better way to do a mask that was more high filter and would keep you a little bit safer. So far, I'm doing pretty good. I just got started. So this is the inside of the mask, and it's a very dense cotton called coutil, and they use it to line the inside of corsets. So it's very, very strong. It's woven like herringbone, so it creates a V pattern, and it actually filters the air really, really well. And then for the outside of the mask, I'm using everything from tight weave Dupuyani silk to Victorian ball gown material. And it's just everything I do a candle test to make sure that air can't just readily pass in and out of it. But I also really like the cute, like kind of fanciful patterns because I like kind of gothic stuff. I like, fun, dark, gothy, witchy kind of stuff. So yeah, stepped up my game and then some. So yeah, I'm having so much fun. But Like, okay, you know what? I got a ton of shells, so let's talk. We can have all different kinds of conversations. And I just found doing it in a large batch made it a lot easier than doing one, okay, go through all the steps, go back, do the next. It just gets easier because you have rote memory going on. We get to iron some things open. If you don't iron it open, this fabric's so thick that even my lovely workhorse of a sewing machine will make some of the most awful noises and look at me like, why? Why? Why are you trying to feed 8 layers of this exceedingly dense fabric through me? No. So, ah, thank you. Yeah, I like to iron these open. So yeah, that this is actually one of my original masks. And yeah, it works really, really well, and it looks pretty dang good. I've washed it a couple times. I probably need to give it a good iron or steam. Um, but I like to be able to improve what I'm doing, so I want to make it look a little bit better and function a little bit better each and every time I make it. So yeah, I found, yep, I gotta iron all my seam lines. Something I should have known because that's what I do for all the rest of my clothing. Why would I not do it for a mask? Later on, I don't know if I'll do it today or possibly tomorrow. Probably, probably tomorrow. I'll be working on some green Dupriani silk masks that I'm actually going to decorate because I have this total love affair with Poison Ivy. I like her aesthetics. I don't necessarily love everything about her as a character, but I love her aesthetics. And I've got some really great silk flowers. So I'm actually thinking of doing some decorative masks that also serve the function as a filter. Because if you can't have fun with all the crap that's going on now, come on, it's art. Let's do this. Yeah. Da-da-da-da. And then also ironing it means that I can iron the curve and get it to stick a little bit better because the curve is a real pain in the rear end. It likes to shift. So if you iron in the curve to begin with, it makes it a lot easier later on when you're putting stuff together. There we go. I can just start stacking them. Let's see if I can find some shells in here. So this is the inner shell. And then, oh yes. So this is going to be one of the outer shells. And this is one of my favorites. This is actually a corsetry material. So it is very heavy weave, very stiff on its own, and stands up really, really well as being absolutely gorgeous. Because I go to professional shops to get a lot of my corsetry material, which it should be interesting to see what goes on in the next, I'm going to say, year, um, as I'm kind of shifting things around and really finding my foot. But yes, if you want to look me up, Dame Red Bento, Google it. You will start to find me on different forms of social media. I've actually been doing sewing for like a long time, since I was about 24, 25. And most people don't seem to guess my current age correctly. No, but I think I have that on my to-do list. Of course, now that you said it, I will of course double check it just to make sure. The only reason I don't have Nightbot on is because, uh, for whatever reason, anytime I seem to play any sort of music, they like to take out huge chunks of my stream. which just makes me super sad. And a lot of information was getting lost, especially when I was doing the more informative or educational ones. Uh, so yeah, give me a few more minutes here ironing, and I will then turn on Nightbot because I just wanted at least the first I want to say 20-30 minutes to be educational and so people could actually get the information. Yeah, we will definitely dive into Dua Lipa, and I will put on my headphones for that so you guys don't get feedback. Oh, that works pretty well. Okay. Okay. There, again, once you've ironed it, it stands up a little bit better. You can see this side profile. So yeah, it hits across the nose from the bridge to the chin, goes back underneath the chin, comes back to almost the ear. And I've done a couple of size variations for certain people because their face was just much broader or much smaller. So yeah, retooling is actually not too hard for me to do because I know how to pattern draft the whole nine. Oh, actually, you know what? I should show you guys how to pattern draft, which I can do in a pretty quick manner. And then I'll go back to ironing all that good stuff. Where is a piece of paper? Ah, and there's a ruler. Okay, I was like, I need pattern draft. We'll do it with pen. Easy enough, a little bit easier for you guys to see as well. Okay. Dot paper. If you don't know what dot paper is, it is literally paper with a dotted matrix on it. I'm going to trim that up because it looks like hell. Let me find some paper scissors. Try not to use the scissors that you use for paper and the scissors you use for cloth as the same thing because they are not the same thing, and your paper actually blunts scissors much quicker than cloth does. So unless you want to have to constantly sharpen your cloth scissors, which will wear them down very quickly, and there's just a full mess of other stuff that goes along with that. It's just not good for your scissors. Okay. I love it when they do that. No, I haven't heard anything new just yet. After, you know what? I'll make you that deal. Right after I get done doing this, I'll throw on Nightbot and we'll get that fired up so we can actually have some music and we'll go from there. Because I'll be on for a while doing this. Okay, so how much room do I have here? Okay, I got 5 inches, 6 inches technically. So I'm going to try and keep this mask within a 5-inch range. So basically you're looking at tip of nose to here. So let's see, I want to do about something that's about 4.5 inches. Yeah, that'll hit actually just in front of my ear, which is a good thing. So you want to measure tip of nose, Let me face you upwards to do this. Hi. So you want to do tip of nose, like down the center, coming back. You don't want to pass directly under the eye. You actually want to angle just a little bit, but that's a slightly different calculation. Give me a second. So you want to go from here to basically right in front of your ear. Then you also want to measure it again with a slight angle because it will adjust how much difference there is. Then also you want tip of the nose over the face. Actually, not tip of the nose, bridge of the nose. So there's the mid bridge of my nose. Over the face. It doesn't have to fit under the nose. You want the curve to go past here. The tip to the under. Okay, and that's roughly 5 inches. And I know that my face, because it's round, it's going to take up a little bit more room. That's why we have to put curves to things. The curves allow us to go around stuff. Now, just up past my jawline, and across to the other side, which is roughly, okay, so about 5.5 inches wide here. You want to go from that same point, roughly where the ear is, and then all the way back to the other side of the ear. Okay, so about 8 inches, 5 inches wide, roughly 8.5 inches here, because that's going to be the curve of my jawline. So all in all, what I do is we'll start at the most usable piece. So you start 1/2 inch in from your sides. That's about 1/2 inch in. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to scoot everything over just a little bit because I know I'm going to have a curve. If I count over 1/2 inch, then I go 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so there's my 5 inches. So I've got enough room on the back side that I can put in my seam allowances. You want to go about 1 inch. Yeah, you want to go about 1 inch back. Sorry, I gotta get my lines lined up. One, two, three. Yeah, this is a little too tall. Oh, because I forgot to do an eye measure. Sorry. Jawline to mid cheek. Jawline to mid cheek, 3 inches. I was like, that looks too, again, because I forgot taking for the curve. So yeah, jawline to mid cheek, because that's where you want it to pass through. I had a moment. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had to pattern draft on the fly. And this is why I end up double and triple checking stuff just to make sure it makes sense. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's to this midpoint. And the front of the nose is going to be roughly 1 inch higher. Okay, so you've got front of the chin. You're going to subtract about 1/2 inch for a curve. And you've got the bridge of the nose. Again, you're going to come back and more like 1/4 inch because of the curve. And then I don't know where my French curve went to because that usually makes it the easiest. Wow, I have no French curves on hand. Huh. I know I have memorize. But yeah, Okay, that's your front curve. And you can adjust that for your nose. My nose is a little bit buttony, it sits up kind of high. And then you come back. And again, because your face rounds, you actually need to bring up the back side of the mask just a little bit, or else you'll get this big gap down here at the bottom. And we adjust for the ½ inch that we moved it at the front. We adjust it to the back. We go out, bring it down. Okay. No. There we go. Sorry. So you bring it up just a little, then curve down. So it goes up to accommodate for the curve of the nose, and then down to cut across the cheek. And then the easy part is adding the seam allowance, which is usually a ½ inch. Give yourself a little extra. The ½ inch is the extra. And then trim the seam allowance down. Now, of course, I should have a French curve out and do all that kind of good stuff, but you know, this is the quick and dirty. Do, 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 do. We said 4-inch. 4-inch this. Basically, you just curve it. Ooh. Yeah, it's off. Sides come up straight, front of the jaw curves. Rough and dirty. Yeah. What I'm doing is just assuring that I have symmetry. Okay. So you got your underpiece. extra in case I have to go back and refine something. Okay, so we see that, yeah, hits me at the bridge, hits me at the chin, bridge, chin, walks it back, hits me along the jawline, and then ends at the ear, giving me a little bit of extra, which is my seam allowance at the jaw. And then this one, I'm going to fold up, and yeah, hits me at the jaw. Now, if I make my first shell and I hold it up and I don't like how it fits, like it's too snug or it doesn't make the seal the way I want it to, the first shell, I just go back, add or subtract as I need. Do it in like 1/4 inch increments because trust me, a 1/4 inch is a lot more than you'd think. 2 seam lines, take away a 1/4 inch on each seam line, that's a 1/2 inch. That actually adds up really, really, really quick. But yeah, just test how it fits and see how you like it, and then just adjust your pattern from there until you find something that like fits snugly and comfortably. Because that's the whole thing is you're trying to form a seal. You're not trying to have these big gaps. Yeah, that's just the quick, dirty method. If you wanted a more refined method, you sit down, you do a lot of calculations, you write down all your numbers, you trace and make sure everything works. And then always make sure to walk your seam lines. So you overlap and you rotate carefully. And you make sure that they mostly match up. So yeah, because this is going to have a bit of stretch to it. But yeah, once you make sure that they walk and then they match up in the correct areas, because you're taking away 1/2 inch back there. Yeah, 1/2 inch at the front. Yeah. So this I might have to go back in and extend because I noticed, hey, when I walk, it doesn't match up quite too much. But also make sure you pin everything into place. So yeah. I haven't caught up on Drag Race. That I have purchased. I'm waiting for them to drop the next episode because I am going to watch it. Don't give anything away. It's so good. Okay, let me turn on my headphones and get some music going. We'll get some Nightbot up and running. And now they can't take out that giant chunk where I was actually giving information. Okay. That goes on. So, yeah, I want to say that the episodes come out on, I can't remember if it's the day after or whatever, but trust me, I'm going to be getting that watched today if they have it up where I purchased it. They're not always great at being on time about that. Dude. Aw. I forgot to check over here at some of my other platforms. Okay. I'm going to throw on Nightbot. I was like, what am I doing? Oh, okay, so if you are a subscriber on my Twitch channel, you can put on songs and music now. I just wanted to make sure that that first, 30 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, had the information that needed to be given, and that people weren't going to lose that information, because there's been times where I've gone gung-ho and just, played music, had people play music, and then for whatever reason, they decided, the powers that be, decided that the music was going to get cut. Or muted, I should say. So yeah, ended up with a big giant chunk of muted stuff, and it's like, oh, people can't see what's going on. Well, shoot. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna continue to iron and go from there. honestly, I think it's going to be a while, unfortunately, before like clubs really start opening back up. But on the upside, I do think that face masks are going to become the new fashion trend. And I'm very okay with that, not just because I make them, but because it'll be something interesting. It'll definitely be something different. The people are not only going to be socially aware, but they're going to be accessorizing while being socially aware, which I think is freaking amazing.
To me.
Get that out of the way. Those warp at the drop of a hat when they come in contact with heat, so I do have to be careful to get my rulers out of the way, because they're not cheap. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. And if you're not, come on in, talk with us. Also, if you're in the United States and you would like to order one of my masks, by all means, feel free to either DM me or even drop a donation. They're $15 a piece. They come with a metal piece in the nose so that you can adjust the fit to your nose. Covers from chin all the way up to the bridge of the nose, cuts down across the cheek, so you get a lot of really good full coverage. Everything is tight weave, high density fabrics, so you actually get a really good filter off these. And if I could find my plastic stores, I would also be making masks with a window, so people who are hard of hearing or hearing impaired or deaf would be able to actually read lip. This entire needing to wear a mask thing has actually created a lot of interesting questions on how we as a general society think about able bodies versus bodies that have a difference, or people who have a difference. And a lot of stuff is made for straight up able-bodied people, but often forgets people who are differently abled. Yes, I don't always know the exact preferred nomenclature of the day, so I couch my words carefully. And if you are somebody who is hard of hearing, deaf, or otherwise differently abled, and I'm using the wrong set of words to describe the situation, by all means, politely let me know, and I will try and adjust my grammar to actually fit what is most comfortable. Okay. It's so hard not to dance to this. It's like super, super hard not to dance. But I've also got like a screaming hot iron, and yeah, that might not be the best idea with an iron in my hand. As you see, once they get ironed, they actually sit really well. That's the part that makes me most happy, which is, I know, odd, but with as much chaos as I am incarnate, I do like it when things are pleasantly orderly. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing for a while. So again, if you're a subscriber on my Twitch channel, you will have permissions to throw on music via Nightbot. If you are not yet a subscriber, but you really want something, I think I've got enough of my regulars on here that if you ask politely, we should be able to abide by the request. Most people who followed me for a while and subscribed for a while will know to screen the music first, just to make sure. I sometimes have some auditory issues, so certain types of music will just make me really twitchy, and we like to avoid that because those also tend to exacerbate some of the other people in the channel, so we're not going to be trying to do that. It's Monday, right? Yeah, it's Monday. Yay! Welcome back. Feel free to put on more dance music. Also, if you guys ever have questions about anything, it doesn't necessarily have to pertain to whatever I'm doing at the moment, but if you guys ever have questions, do feel free to ask, as long as they are polite, truthful, genuine questions. There's a good chance that they're going to be answered, and if I or somebody else on the channel is truly uncomfortable with them, we'll let you know, and we just kind of go from there. It's all about respect. You want a timeless song. I want to change the game, like modern architecture. John Lautner coming your way. I know you like this beat, cause Jeff been doing the damn thing. You want to turn it up loud. Future nostalgia is the name. I know you're done trying to figure me out. My name's on the tip of your tongue, keep running your mouth. You want the recipe, but can't handle my sound, my sound, my sound. Okay. Distilled water, so you know. There are certain chemicals that you can actually put into your ironing water that will clean your iron as you go. They have a very particular look and smell. I have flashbacks. But yeah, it keeps the water cleaner and gets sediment out and makes sure that your iron is clean from the inside. So, yay! I just use distilled water, as it were, so it's okay for me to drink. I'm not having a moment.
You can't get with this if you ain't built for this. You can't get with this if you ain't built for this. I can't build you up if you ain't tough enough. I can't teach a man how to wear his pants. I know you're dying trying to figure me out. My name's on the tip of your tongue, keep running your mouth. You want the recipe but can't handle my sound, my sound, my sound. I know you're dying trying to figure me out. My name's on the tip of your tongue, keep running your mouth. You want the recipe but can't handle my sound, my sound, my sound.
So yes, what have you been doing fun and productive in the last week? I myself am streamlining a lot of my social media, and I am going to make valiant attempts at creating graphics and hopefully make emojis and whatnot. I'm not a code writer. That is part of my problem, I think. But I'm going to be trying to make artwork and gifts or something to give you guys, especially my subscribers, new emojis and fun things that you can have and work with. That way you can be fun and creative, because honestly, that's what I love. So I love good, fun, creative people's just, hanging out, doing a thing. And anybody, especially my longtime regulars, can tell you I chatter. I chatter on, and I give a lot of advice. I usually have a pretty even and fair hand with it. And very little issues tend to come up because somebody got to catch a band hammer, somebody will catch a band hammer. That's how that goes. See how nicely those stack up? I love this. Of course, I am sweating. I'm standing over an iron, so, Thank you.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I could take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way I like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. I believe that you're for me. I feel it in our energy. I see us written in the stars. We can go wherever, so let's do it now or never, baby. Nothing's ever too far. Glitter in the sky, glitter in our eyes, shining just the way we are. I feel like we're forever every time we get together, but whatever, let's get lost on Mars. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you.
Sorry, give me just a second.
Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. My love is like a rocket, watch it blast off. And I'm feeling so electric, dance on our star. And even if I wanted to, I can't stop.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. My love is like a rocket, watch it blast off. And I'm feeling so electric, dance my ass off. And even if I wanted to, I can't stop. Yeah, 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 yeah. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading.
Okay, definitely keep more of this coming because that's fun.
Moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. You can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you.
Actually, no, I'm gonna try something real quick.
Dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
So I'm just clipping the round every half inch or so. I'm a good eighth of an inch back from the seam allowance. Yo! Hey, Creative! How are you doing? How are you doing, dear? I was hoping you'd be here too. Yeah, let me see if I clip the round, if that affects how it lays. Well, I might start going in and clipping rounds. Seems to lay even smoother, so okay, good to know. I hear you. I hear you. I really do. I'm having an okay day, which is yay. Some days that's all you can ask for. So hopefully, coming in, hanging out with some of your friends, we'll be doing a little bit better. So, you know how I was talking about the shinobi-styled masks that I am making for people? I am ironing out the shells so that when I start putting them together, it makes it actually much faster, quicker, easier, and whatnot. And yeah, I found if I do stuff in batches, it becomes easier because it's like rote memory. Ta-da. Ugh, I have so been there. I have so freaking been there. You're like, I want to eat. I I want to eat something, but nothing sounds good. But I want to eat something, but nothing. Yeah, I've been in that roundabout cycle, and then you end up eating stuff that you really didn't want, and you're just like, that did not do anything. Yeah. Ugh, God, right? Uh, kind of like me, and I've suddenly have this a bit of a cake obsession going on. I'm like, I really want cake. Of course, I've been making cakes. So I've been making like cardamom cake, and I want to make like a rose pistachio, or maybe I'll do something with pecans. And it's like, seriously, girl, seriously, like, oh God, right now I really just want to make cake pops, and like I know that I have the chocolate. I just need to figure out what I need to thin it down with so that I can do like chocolate shells, because I want to be able to drizzle it over the cake balls that I want to make and then put them on like a stick or something and just have cake ball pops. People think that they're gonna gain so much weight, but honestly, give in to that drive if you ever get it, to go out and just wander about or do stretches or whatever. Honestly, if you're eating a lot more homemade stuff, you're probably not going to gain nearly as much weight as you think you are. Because I know a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I haven't had fast food in forever. And I'm like, yeah, fast food has a lot of hidden calories in it, that you don't know until you know. And they give you these giant portions, and a lot of us have been raised, if it's on your plate, you got to eat it, finish everything. So, of course, you see these giant portions and you end up finishing everything and not realizing that you've taken in like 1,000 to 1,500 calories, which is your caloric intake for a day. Oh my God, yes! Oh, trust me, you want to keep off some weight and you've got a system? DDR. I love DDR. Like, if I ever, which hopefully in the next couple months, some things are going to be changing. But if I ever got to a place where I could have a system, gaming system, and get the Beat Saber stuff, oh my God, I would so do that. I mean, I'd look absolutely horrible because I have no rhythm, but I would so do Beat Saber because, oh my God, you want to talk about a workout and a half. Oh God, it looks so cool. Like, and I've seen people who are like just super professional at it, and they look like they're doing fight scenes, and that's awesome. But I've also seen just regular people who go and do it, and they look funny, but it's so much fun, and you can tell that they are really getting a workout from what they're doing. And so, like, to me, that absolutely appeals to me because at least with that, I have motivation to do the work because I'm earning a score and it's good music. And, it's just, there's incentive to actually do the thing. But also, well above and beyond that, you're getting one heck of a workout out of that. And to me, that's like the best part. I just have trouble exercising when there's like no goal or there's no reward at the end. My both my body and my brain see it as pointless. So it goes, no. And I'm like, come on, we're doing this. And at the end, oh my God, at the end of so many workouts, I pay for it. My joints scream at me. I have a lot of problems. But take that same scenario and do something like DDR or, something that just requires you to move around for a game. For whatever reason, I'm able to keep up at that a lot longer. I get a lot more benefit from that. And yeah, it's so much better that way. And I'm like, God, I wish all games could have an interactive component to it. I think that would be awesome if they could find a way to do an interactive system where you actually need to move in order to control your toon, your player, your character, whatever you want to call it. To me, that would be awesome. Yes. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's like my biggest thing is like going to the gym. It's like you're just plodding along and doing these things that don't really meld with what my body's going to be doing on the regular. Like I love doing, bench presses. I like the weights. But quite often they're not a normal range of motion. I would much rather have something that's almost like box shaped that you would have to lift, or something that you'd have to like get down under and then come back up. But most stuff gym wise is in a slightly I'm not going to say nonsensical, but in a slightly odd positioning that you don't usually use in your repertoire of movement on a daily. And of course, my knees, some of my joints just kind of are bitchy. And I've done damage to myself over the years from a bunch of different stuff, but it's like, yeah, I just need something that allows me to like move in a normal, natural range. And dancing, even if it's done badly, dancing would do that. Which is why I like Beat Saber, because it seems like those motions are much more controllable and much more natural. Yes, yes. Yeah, because yeah, our brains are survival orientated or pleasure orientated. Pleasure does not always mean sexy. It just means it's going for something that feels good or something that provides some sort of a stimulus reward. So art or those little achievement sounds that we have very much associated with, yay, I did a good thing. Certain sounds, certain sights, those kind of things. They're like, ooh, we've done a good thing. And we know we've done a good thing. If you were to, I love this example. I also find it hilarious that this is an example, but it's kind of like when you're training a dog, um, or just when you're talking to your dog, oh, you're a good boy. Oh, who's the best boy? Who's the best dog? Who's a good dog? That tone, as well as those words, like They know that, yes, they're accepted, they're loved. It's a reward that is a non-physical thing. They're not getting food, they're not getting a toy, but they are getting reaffirmation um, for what they're doing, for the behavior they're doing. And they know that good boy or good girl or good dog is that affirmation. So the same thing with humans. You can program us or condition us to know that a particular sound or a particular graphic or color or whatever means you've done a good job. Green is often used for that. So greens, golds, um, confettis, streamers, that kind of stuff, because of a lot of our cultural norms, is seen and interpreted by the brain as, ooh, this is a good thing. So like every time I get a new subscriber or when I get a new follower. Sorry, been kicking up a lot of cotton dust. But yeah, every time I get a new subscriber or a new follower, you guys all hear that little noise and see that little flash up on the screen of, this is your new follower, yay! And it's pretty well programmed. So every time I hear that sound now, like, I can feel parts of my brain just light up and go, ooh, we did a good thing, let's do it again. Yes. Okay, still, you're going after the walk. The walk is the good thing. Go out for the walk, grab a little bit of junk food. Don't castigate yourself too much. I'm probably going to log pretty shortly and grab myself a bit of lunch as well, because I didn't realize how quickly the day has progressed. And while I have gotten other things done, I have sort of neglected the intake. I had a little coffee, had an apple, but that's not going to hold me for much longer, unfortunately. There we go. So yeah, hopefully by tomorrow, I don't think I'll be done with these by tomorrow, but hopefully by tomorrow, I will have the shells for the poison ivy inspired masks cut and put together for the most part. And we'll do some fun stuff. We'll do some creative stuff. And if you're looking for me on Facebook, Dame Red Bento. You need to find me on TikTok, Dame Red Bento. On Instagram, on Twitter, Dame Red Bento. So yeah, you will find me all over the place. I am consolidating some of my social media accounts so that you can find all the kind of cool and fun stuff that I do in one place. I am a Jill of all trades. I don't just do one thing, and I am currently finding my footing in this world, and kind of getting this really up and running full tilt as a creative. So if at any point you guys want to subscribe, that is awesome. That means a lot to me just as a person. If you guys decide to donate, please only donate what you can truthfully afford, and don't feel like you need to donate to get extras or to get anything from me or to get me to notice you. Just talk. If you want me to notice you, just talk. Have good conversation, chat. That's really all that is required. But if you truly want to help out small business and creative person such as myself, do feel free to donate. But again, only donate what you can honestly afford. Don't break the bank, because we're all going to have to survive at least for a couple more months, probably, with all of this going on. And I enjoy company. I also have a YouTube channel. So, again, just look for the name, you will find me. Pressing open some seam lines. Okay. So, I'm going to, pardon. I gotta go in and do some firefighting. But you know, I'm gonna probably log off for a bit. I'll just come back and I'll do this on my own. Or I might fire up the camera, the stream. That's what I was thinking, the stream. I will fire up the stream again probably a little bit later on. Again, talk, chat, probably some time that is not the middle of the day where it is exceedingly hot and I'm just sweating and not too chatty. But yeah, I might be back on again this evening, and I will try and be back again tomorrow and working on some fun stuff, some creative stuff instead of just this. So yes, you'll get to see all the different types of creative processes I have. Because yes, I do sewing, but I also like to do like creative stuff with resin and different types of artwork, different types of craft work, watercolors. I'm going to be working on digital art this month as well. So yeah, I do a lot of things. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm finding what works best for me, what I enjoy, refining my skills. And if you guys ever need my services, by all means, let me know, because I would love, 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 love to do work for y'all. I know that a couple of you have already approached me to collaborate and do work together, and I'm very excited to take on those projects. So this could be very interesting. Yes. Hey, Austin! Hello, darling. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Just finishing out a little bit of work here and there. Working on the masks, the face masks that you guys have seen me advertise again and again on Facebook. Where do I keep setting my mask? Oh, there it is. So, this is the face mask. It's a shinobi style. Yeah, there. And it's, full face coverage and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I'm just doing the batches where I'm ironing out the shells. It makes putting them together a lot quicker. I am finding. So, yes. Yes, if anybody needs a mask, especially if they are in the United States, contact me. They are $15. Sometimes a little bit more if you want them to be like highly decorated and that kind of thing. But yeah, that $15 includes shipping in the United States. Do. Okay. So what time is it? Oh, okay, so it's almost 2 o'clock. So I will be logging off. Again, I'll probably be on later towards the evening for a couple of hours. doing more creative stuff. I might actually be inking one of my larger pieces that I'm working on. Because I want to do some watercolors. I'm just itching to do some watercolor painting. So let's do the thing. Thank you all for joining me. Honestly, you guys have been awesome. I really, really enjoy it. I love doing this. I'm going to try and create a schedule so that I'm on more often and so that you can see what's going on. Planning is not always my strong suit, but I know I need to work on that. So thank you again so much for showing up. You guys are amazing and awesome. And I have honestly, from the bottom of my heart, love it when you guys show up. Love it when we talk. And if I can teach you guys something, if I can help you out with something, that is like, that's my thing. That's my jam. So thank you so much. Have a good one.